different COVID-19 vaccines, mRNA, what's hot, what's not. Today I'm going to talk about all things COVID-19 vaccines, what I took, what are your options, what about Covishield, Sputnik V, Covaxin, and what about Pfizer's vaccine. What is Covishield? I'll get to that later, but you're listening to Dr. Amrita on the Health Well Bridge show. I was vaccinated with Covishield as part of India's effort to vaccinate healthcare workers. The Covishield was the only option then, and my husband and I both took it. What's Covishield? Covishield of Oxford AstraZeneca is manufactured by Serum Institute of India in Pune. It was one of the first vaccines to be approved by the DGCI. It's an adenovirus vaccine that has a harmless virus as the vector to carry spike protein. The body then produces antibodies against this spike protein. The premise being, if and when the COVID-19 virus infects someone immunized with Covishield, the body will recognize this antigenic spike protein and kill the virus. We want the immunity to develop to the spike protein. But sometimes in vaccines like these, the immunity could also develop to the adenoviral vector. That's where Sputnik V scores, or actually could score. What about the Sputnik V? It uses two different virus vectors for its two doses. What's interesting is Sputnik V is now approved for use in India. Plus, unlike the Pfizer vaccine, it does not need extraordinary temperature for storage and transports. It's made in Russia in collaboration with Dr. Reddy's in India. Sputnik V did the bridge trial in the Indian population. On May 1st, the first doses of this vaccine reached India. There's an agreement for 85 crore doses per year of the Sputnik V being manufactured in India. Russia's RDIF Sovereign Wealth Fund has tied up with multiple Indian companies to make this possible. The DGCI approved for restricted emergency use the foreign produced vaccines which have received approval in US FDA, UK MDA, EMA, PMDA, Japan. But what about the Covaxin? What exactly is this Covaxin? Covaxin is India's COVID-19 vaccine. It is developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research, National Institute of Virology. It is a whole virion inactivated vero cell-derived vaccine. It is a technology that is tried and tested. The dead virus cannot infect, but the protein can signal the body to learn from it and mount an immune response. It is a two-dose vaccine too and is stable at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Covaxin is our very own made in India vaccine, which, as ICMR has said, and Dr. Anthony Fauci agrees, can neutralize all mutant variables of the COVID-19 virus. Since it is a complete antigen, the antibodies are produced to the entire structure. Multimutants can be effectively killed by it. These make Covaxin very well suited for the Indian population. It's made in India, it has easy distribution and storage, it's effective against all mutations, plus it is economical. It has 81% efficacy, it's effective against most of the mutant variants of the COVID-19. Today, I thought I will tell you a little bit about the mRNA vaccine and what the USA is getting. It is now also a favorite query point for many people. What is the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine? It is not a live vaccine. That's very important to know. It's a special type of messenger RNA vaccine. It has both natural substance and a synthetic component. It's a unique technology, totally new and very special. The mRNA, once inside your cells, instruct your cells to make the viral spike protein. Your body then creates its immunity against that particular protein. It also helps your body memorize the sequence of events so that if and when the actual virus infects the body, it can mount its immunity against the virus too. Pfizer and Moderna have made history with this technological advancement of the mRNA vaccine. This is the first time such vaccines are approved for human use. But there is a problem with its use in India, and the problem is multifactorial. Point to be remembered is mRNA does not have the information to create all the viral proteins or incite immunity against the whole virus but a specific part. This means the mRNA will not cause an actual infection. It also means the immunity is technically only partial. But you have to remember that mRNA is helping your body incite immunity against the most antigenic part of the virus. So that immunity could actually be quite good to protect you against a real viral infection. The mRNA, however, is unstable. It needs a lipid nanoparticle for safe passage into cells. For stability, the Pfizer vaccines need minus 94 degrees Celsius temperature. That's a big hurdle for most countries. The technology is also patented and expensive as of now. India, along with several countries, requested the companies to temporarily remove IP, that is the intellectual property right for the mRNA technology, so that more vaccines can be produced in other countries quickly. That's not yet approved. The good news is USA is considering the gift of their AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine once it passes the FDA regulations. Interestingly, it is not yet approved for emergency use in America. Now, the problem with Moderna and Pfizer mRNA vaccine is their requirement for storage at sub-zero temperatures. That is a type of cold chain which is very difficult in countries like India. How long does the COVID vaccine protection last? No data is available yet about how long the protection will last for any of these vaccines. Will someone get the infection even if vaccinated? The full immunization actually starts 4 to 6 weeks after the second dose of the vaccine. Even then, a small percentage may have breakthrough infections. Data about this is still being collected. We know that fully vaccinated people seem to have less chance of severe complications from the disease. That is true for other viral diseases like chickenpox too. So right now, getting the vaccine you have in hand is worth two in the bush. How long should you wait to get vaccinated after the COVID-19 infection? After testing negative, at least from the point of immunology, you need to wait 4 to 6 weeks. But according to current government guidelines, it is probably 6 months. But check with the current government guidelines before going for your vaccine shots after an active infection. Should pregnant women get vaccine? Currently, India has open vaccination for all above the age of 18. You should get vaccinated if not otherwise contraindicated. For specifics, you should consult your own doctor. A recent study conducted in 24,000 households, which included more than 57,000 contacts with a confirmed case of COVID-19 in that household, where someone has received a vaccine, showed that even a single dose of Covishield vaccine can lower the risk of viral transmission within the household by almost 50%. This study was published in Public Health England. It was shown that people who became infected with the COVID-19 virus 3 weeks after getting a single dose of these vaccines were between 38% to 49% less likely to spread the virus to someone in their household. They also have 60 to 65% less risk of developing symptomatic infection 4 weeks after one dose of either vaccines. If you are worried about which vaccine to take, I will tell you, you should take the vaccine which is available to you at your location. If you are worried about where to take the vaccine, government or private is your choice. Look for the places closest to you and then get it whenever you can. How to register for the vaccine online in India? With the current advertisement everywhere, you already know you can register through the CoWIN portal. But sometimes certain offices, certain community apartment complexes are setting up their own micro niche vaccination locations to reduce the burden on the government setup. Use your phone number. You can register up to 4 people on the CoWIN portal. Each person will need their valid photo identification. In certain small towns, there are also opportunity for a walk-in vaccinations where your registration is done at the site. You might be given a token if that day's vaccination quota is over, and you can come back the next day to get your shot. You can also register through the Arogya Setu app through the CoWIN tab on the home page. In all cases, a valid ID proof is needed to get your certificate at the end of 2 doses of vaccine. Once you receive both doses of vaccine, you will get the COVID vaccination certificate. Don't share your COVID vaccine certificate anywhere on social media. It's not a good idea. If you can pay for the vaccine, do so. There are very many people who can't. If you're worried about whether to take it, definitely take it. If you're concerned about whether it will work, you have a better chance of fighting when you have the vaccine. It's like a helmet, not an extra life. What about all those people who are still not wearing a mask and who still doesn't care? You have to stop caring about them. You do your part. What about the neighborhood uncle who tested positive and you were just chatting with him the day before? You get tested, you wear a mask and self-isolate till your test comes back negative. You must remember to keep looking everywhere for a solution to a better tomorrow. And for that, the solution starts with you. You have to keep on wearing a mask, social distancing, getting vaccinated, and keeping abreast with all the governmental regulations so that you can keep yourself and your family safe. Get vaccinated as soon as possible. You were listening to Dr. Amrita on the Health Wealth Bridge podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Health Wealth Bridge, and I'm Dr. Amrita, ENT surgeon based in Kolkata. Thank you so much for listening.